Now we got to talk about Oklahoma. There's another quarterback that played in this game. He's also a phenomenal leader. That's Jalen Hertz. Jalen Hertz is, I've talked about this before. There are my two favorite college football players of all time are Gardner Minshew and Jalen Hertz. Jalen Hertz is phenomenal. He's a great leader. However, being a great leader, sadly, is not enough at the quarterback position. So I love Jalen Hertz. He's classy. I love his story. I love the way he carries himself, his interviews. He'll do like a 17-minute interview after practice. I watch the entire thing because I always find a nugget or I find some valuable wisdom from him because he's so wise. He's young. He's a senior in college and he just gets it. And this is really, really painful and sad, but we saw Jalen Hurts' limitations on full display on Saturday against LSU. Number one, Jalen Hurts is not an elite thrower of the football. It's kind of important to have your quarterback be elite at throwing the football. You got to have a guy who's good at throwing if you're going to play quarterback. He had receivers open against LSU, and not by a lot. They were in one-on-one situations. Oklahoma's receiver, like CeeDee Lamb, would beat a guy by a step. And by NFL standards, that's open. And Jalen Hurts could not complete passes into really tight windows. Jalen Hurts simply did not have the arm talent to complete throws into really small, really tight windows to receivers who were barely open by only a step. That's a really big red flag if you're evaluating Jalen Hurts from an NFL perspective as a quarterback. Now, number two, this is the really big problem for Jalen Hurts, or maybe the other big problem. People say that, well, you got to look at the Baltimore Ravens and how they run their offense with quarterback Lamar Jackson. They have a quarterback, Lamar Jackson, who threw for over 3,000 yards and ran for over 1,000 yards. He ran for 1,000, threw for 3,000. They've built an offense in Baltimore where they use design quarterback runs frequently. And people say, well, can't NFL teams do the same thing with Jalen Hurts? And I even fell into this. I even talked about this at one point. You can maybe have people want to say, can we use Jalen Hurts and have a quarterback run designed offense succeed in the NFL? And man, I hope so. I hope somebody finds a way to creatively use Jalen Hurts' skill set, because I think there's a really good skill set there. I think maybe people could do something similar to the way the Saints use Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill's a great athlete. He is, the Saints use him all over the place. He's not a traditional quarterback. He runs the ball. He catches passes. Taysom Hill does everything. I think there's an NFL team that could look at Jalen Hurts and go, hey, you're a stud. You're a great leader. You're a great athlete. We're going to use you more than just as a normal quarterback and not just to run the ball. You're going to catch passes. You're going to play special teams. Jalen Hurts, we want you on our team. You're a great leader, but you're going to have to do everything. Maybe there's a team out there that looks at Jalen Hurts and says, we can use you the way the Saints use Taysom Hill. And I think Jalen Hurts is clearly an incredible person, and I believe he's going to succeed at something in his life. He's going to be very successful, hopefully playing quarterback in the NFL. But I really believe that saying Jalen Hurts and Lamar Jackson and comparing the two, saying they're similar, is unrealistic. It's not a realistic expectation to expect Jalen Hurts to develop into something like Lamar Jackson. You got to give Lamar Jackson the respect he deserves. Lamar Jackson is incredible running the football. He's got this ability, it's called quick twitch, where he can go from 0, not running at all, to 60 to full speed in a blink of an eye. He's so quick at accelerating, and he can start and stop on a dime. Lamar Jackson is a special talent. His lightning speed is unbelievable. You cannot compare Jalen Hurts to Lamar Jackson. It's not fair. They run differently. And just because a quarterback runs the ball does not mean they all run the ball the same way. Deshaun Watson, Kyler Murray, Russell Wilson, Lamar Jackson, all are quarterbacks who run the football. They all uniquely do it differently, and you can't compare the three. You can't compare the four. They all do it differently. You can't compare Lamar Jackson to Jalen Hurts. They run the ball differently. And more importantly, Lamar Jackson is a special runner. Jalen Hurts is a really good runner. He runs the ball well. He runs, honestly, more like a running back. The more impressive thing is that Jalen Hurts runs physically. He runs people over. He's very durable. Jalen Hurts takes a lot of hits, and it's pretty unbelievable. He gets up over and over again. But Jalen Hurts is not the same one-of-a-kind talent running the football that Lamar Jackson is. It's not fair to expect Jalen Hurts to develop into that because you got to recognize, Lamar Jackson is actually just really, really special.